In Jamaica, probing an arms smuggling network. And in sport, West Indies head coach says his side has some soul searching to do after their crushing defeat by New Zealand. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, January 4th, 2018. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Police in Jamaica have launched an investigation into a criminal network suspected of shipping arms and ammunition into the island. 3 Haitian nationals and 2 locals, including a businessman at whose home an M16 rifle was seized last night, having been arrested in connection with the racket. This followed the seizure of more than 300 assorted rounds of ammunition and millions of dollars in cash during 2 operations conducted between Tuesday and Wednesday. Assistant Commissioner Clifford Chambers told RJR News that the police know where the guns are coming in, and he says investigators are trying to determine whether the criminal network is behind the importation of illegal guns into the parish of Clarendon. In Nevis, former Premier Joseph Parry has announced his intention to step down as leader of the Nevis Reformation Party in the next few weeks after the party lost the Nevis Island administration poll late last month. He said yesterday that it is important that he give the party the opportunity to organize its transition period to, quote, have a smooth movement from the present situation to one that will strengthen the party for the future, end quote. Now, Parry, who served as Premier from 2006 to 2013, was the only successful candidate of the NRP in the December 18th Nevis Island administration election that was won by the Concerned Citizens Movement headed by Mark Brantley. He said he was satisfied with the campaign run by the NRP, even though the party lost the election. But the people made their choice and the results had to be accepted. However, he also disclosed that one of his party's defeated candidates, Roberto Hector, had indicated he will challenge the election results in Charlestown. Parry said that both Hector and the party believed there were some irregularities in the electoral office and elsewhere to warrant his objection and going to court on the matter. The African, Caribbean and Pacific, ACP, group has welcomed the decision by the European Commission to provide its members with the proposals to consider ahead of the negotiations to replace the Cotonou Agreement that expires in 2020. ACP Secretary General Dr. Patrick Gomes says the proposals will form the basis for the EU negotiated memorandum to be exchanged with the 79-member ACP group in May, and the negotiations would be held in Brussels over the coming weeks. The accord is a treaty between the European Union and the ACP that was signed in June 2000 in Cotonou. It entered into force in 2003 and was subsequently revised in 2005 and 2010. It is regarded as the most comprehensive partnership agreement between developing countries and the EU, and in 2010, ACP-EU cooperation has been adapted to new challenges such as climate change, food security, regional integration, state fragility, and aid effectiveness. The Guyana-born Gomes told CMC News that the agreement is helpful because it will have an EU-Caribbean compact as well, or as one of the three pillars. He said those pillars will fit within an overarching foundation of general principles and some strategic priorities. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
My number one piece of advice is don't take nobody's advice. There's no rules to how to do this. You know, yeah, I didn't take anybody's advice when trying to hustle my way through it. Now, obviously, experience is a great teacher. So just getting to it, jumping in it, and saying, you know, instead of saying I want to do this or I want to be this, don't take the wanna out of it. Just be it.
Just be it, right? That's very important. You know, no doubt.
Welcome back. It's now time for sport. Head coach Stuart Law said West Indies had soul searching to do after they suffered a 119-run crushing at the hands of New Zealand in Wednesday's final T20 International to end the 8-match tour without a single win. The Caribbean side lost both tests by healthy margins and were whitewashed 3-0 in the one-day internationals before going down 2-0 in the 3-match T20 series. The only match in which they escaped defeat was the second T20 on New Year's Day, which was rained off after 9 overs. Law said, quote, "It was a pretty disappointing tour. New Zealand played good, disciplined cricket, but we fell short. We need to do a lot of hard work, planning and understanding. That means some soul searching by looking in the mirror and asking if we gave it everything to change a game, get into a game and win a game. It's not just going to happen," end quote. The Windies were also without experienced players like Darren Sammy, Dwayne Bravo and Nendel Simmons, all of whom were members of the World Cup winning side in 2016 in India. Law said the late withdrawal of some experienced players had hurt West Indies. And the regional side have slipped to 5th in the ICC T20 rankings following their 2-0 defeat to New Zealand in the 3-match series. The reigning world champions slumped to a 119-run defeat at Bay Oval to end a wretched series where they failed to win any of the internationals across tests and one-dayers. Now, West Indies began the series 4th but lost 5 points to sit 115 points and are now below 4th place England, who they beat in the final of the T20 World Cup in 2016. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.